They shot under 38% in the Game 1 loss to the Pelicans on Saturday. Kind of a must-win situation tonight in their home arena later on tonight. Anthony Davis was the big star Saturday night, 35 points, 14 rebounds, 4 blocks. Rajon Rondo, playoff Rondo, 17 assists. But Drew Holiday, who had 21 points in the game, defensively in the fourth quarter might have been their most valuable player.
Yeah, and listen, I think he's arguably the best backcourt defender in the NBA. You know, with his 6'6" size, the quickness, the length, the athleticism, and the IQ from a defensive standpoint. He does as good a job as anybody in the league. And just watch this stretch here, down the stretch. Now, they're going to come off of a turnover here. And just watch Drew Holiday, how he's able to contort his body. You see that reach there? A lot of times when a guy reaches, it takes him off balance. But he's able to do just enough to force a bad pass, come up with the steal and deflection. Here's a terrific job out of the pick and roll. Now, because of Rajon Rondo in the right place, it doesn't allow Lillard to hit that roll guy. So now he's got a reset on this play. It allows Holiday to recover. But still, Dame's able to get to his sweet spot. But look at the score here, the clock. Drew Holiday knows even if you score here, we still going to have an opportunity to get the basketball. He doesn't bail him out with the foul, though, and that's what Dame Lillard was playing for, and therefore they were able to come up with that loose ball. And here, again, off a good baseline out-of-bounds play, his ability to read and be patient here. See how he goes up with two hands? He doesn't commit to the shot block until Connaughton shows the type of shot he's going to take. And then he's able to have the poise and the patience to come up with that huge block shot down the stretch. He is so patient defensively and understands angles about as well as any guard in the league. He's off the charts. If people haven't had a chance to see him nationally as much from a defensive standpoint, don't expect it to change. I do think Dame and CJ play better, but he's not a guy that's going to allow you to have a comfort zone and a rhythm. You're going to have to impose your will on him. He's going to come out, I think, and be lights out again from a defensive standpoint.
Lillard and McCollum just 13 of 41. They did get better later in the game, but 13 of 41 for the game. Obviously, they've got to be better than that tonight. That leads us to your first-team all-defensive team in the NBA.
Yeah, and we just talked about the aforementioned Drew Holiday. Victor Oladipo is another guy I think is wildly overrated from a defensive standpoint.
Underrated.
Underrated. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me there. Paul George is terrific. I think Covington doesn't get enough credit. Again, led the league in deflections. And then I put Joel Embiid on my first team in part because of his ability at the center position to play in space. I give him a slight nod over Rudy Gobert on that second team, but I like Davis and Durant. Tough one for me because Durant and Draymond both are typically guys that are there, but I do think that the versatility of Durant superseded Draymond this year. Josh Richardson is just a flat-out dog defensively. He gets after it. And Chris Paul is another guy that we don't talk as much about, but first-team all-defense last year. I think he is as much a reason why that Rockets team defensively is so improved as anybody else on that roster.
Interesting you have Rudy Gobert's second team because just based on chatter out there, it sounds like he's the leading contender for Defensive Player of the Year.
He may be, but from a new way of the game being played, bigs have to play more in space. I give the nod a little bit to Embiid in that respect.
All right, much more coming up here. The Auto Trader pregame gets us going as we lead to tip in Toronto. Marcin Gortat and the Wizards up against it up north.